Well, I thought we had an excellent second half, reflective of 26 assists in a game. You know, anytime you get that high of an assist total, a lot of good things are happening. And, you know, really like to point out Nico and Jamal, the two players who played point guard for us tonight. You know, they had 15 assists and 2 turnovers. And I really believe just watching Nico, he's slowly and steadily settling in and learning how to be a college player, and sometimes you forget. Still November, still very early in our team's development, but especially with the younger guys. And he was really outstanding. Maybe the best game that he's played thus far for us. You know, even Zeke, he got off to maybe a slower start for him, but 9 for 13 from the field. Josh Green too, and I've talked to Josh after the game. What makes him a special player isn't doing one thing. It's that he can check the box in a myriad of different ways. Steals, 4 assists, no turnovers. Some of our best plays we had in transition, he has the ball in his hands. And I have no concerns at all with his shooting. He takes good shots, they'll go in. But I was really happy for Max Hazard. More than anyone, he just didn't look right in the first half. I think maybe, I don't want to say he lost confidence as much as I think he wanted to play well so badly that it can work against you. I pulled him aside going into the locker room and, just told him, like, look, shoot the ball, play with confidence, be who you are. And I'm not saying that's why it happened, but I hope that's why it happened. He's among the best shooters that I have seen, and you saw him get going in the second half, which he has that punch element. He really can give us that scoring lift off the bench. So we'll take it. Again, a couple things in the first half weren't as good. Just a little bit like South Dakota State, but we have a lot of new players learning to play in a system, and it takes time.
Do you feel that they got your message from the things that you were upset about from Thursday?
I think so, and I also think that's why, we had a couple head-scratching moments in the first half. I felt like we were tight. They wanted to do the things that we talked about, maybe a couple guys forcing the ball inside, maybe not playing with as much confidence. And like I mentioned, after the last game, if we have an early opportunity, we want to take it. We just want to make sure that it's a good early opportunity. We don't want to just all of a sudden forget, what makes us a good team or who has the hot hand just in an attempt to shoot quick. And, although we got going in the second half, it was off of defensive stops. The ball was really being shared, and we had a lot of quality play.
Coach, I know it's only been 6 games, but what makes this team a little bit different than the teams you've coached in the past?
We have more firepower from behind the three-point line. We have a number of different players who can really shoot it, and I think it's that balance that might give us the edge in some other things. But, like some of the other teams that we've had, it's hard to judge us in November. We have a long way to go. We'll learn a lot more about our team when we leave McHale. This next week will be a really good challenge for us. And I think for us, our team's chemistry, our work ethic, us staying healthy and getting better, that's really the thing that we're, I think, the most happy about or the most aware of. And there's just so many different things that we can improve on, and it's up to us to be able to do it.
What type of challenges will this team face in the Wooden Legacy tournament?
I mean, first of all, playing 3 games in 4 days is a challenge. It'll be a different feeling for our younger guys, no matter how much you think you're ready for it. It's different. Playing away from McHale for the first time is different. Although I think for us, we expect a lot of our fans to be there, which will be helpful. And then, competition will continue to increase. So we're aware of that. But, we've practiced more than 30 times, played 6 home games, had a scrimmage, and I think all of us are ready for that next step.
Does a weekend trip like this or a week trip like this help with that confidence? By the time December comes around, you start to see your team where you want it to see?
I hope so. We have to play well when we go there. Last time we went to this tournament, struggled in our first game, lost a heartbreaker in game 2, and then I think we ended up being 2-1. It was a great learning experience, but we didn't necessarily play well. For us, it's been a few years since we've won a championship in one of these tournaments, and we know this is a really good field, a lot of good coaches, good teams. It's up to us to go there and hopefully play our tails off 3 games in 4 days and see where it takes us.
With Debonair not on the team anymore, who are you looking to kind of pick up that production? Is Hazard one of those guys? I mean, what do you do with that backcourt?
I think everybody is going to get a little bit more of an opportunity. We still have 5 guards we're rotating for 3 spots. And Stone Gettings is more than capable of playing some spot minutes at the small forward, especially against certain teams. So I think the answer to that is just everybody.
You had said that Debonair would have, came back, and then it was after the game, you were obviously pretty upset Thursday. Was there any correlation between the Thursday game or the meeting you guys had or attitude or anything that came out?
No. I mean, I gave a pretty thorough statement, and, that's really all I have to say about that.
Does it help your rotation in a sense that you can figure out more, at least whittle it down, or whatever, if that's your intention?
It's hard to sub in and out of games. Depth sounds good on the front end, but everybody has to sacrifice a little bit. Playing 9 or 10 players, I think in some ways that's what happened tonight. You can really hit your stride maybe in the second half of games, and at times wear a team out or play through foul trouble. So, that's I think we have a deep team, and we just have to continue to grow.
You typically don't have waves of people going in. Tonight you had like 3 at a time going in. Which is that you like that? You feel comfortable with that?
Each game's different. I think the score dictates that, who's playing well, who isn't, foul trouble. And, for us, we can let guys play a little longer with foul trouble. I don't know if that makes sense, but, the penalty for getting a guy with 3 or 4 isn't maybe as dire as it is if you only play 6 players.
How important has it been for Jamal to be able to handle that point guard role when Nico's not out there, if in case you have a foul trouble issue or fatigue or anything?
Well, he's done a really good job. I mean, his assist to turnover ratio is just off the charts. Matter of fact, he had a turnover tonight. It was just crazy, And I looked out there thinking, I think that's only his 2nd turnover of the season. And it's hard to get mad at a guy who's taking care of the ball as well as he has. So, and that's one of Jamal's strengths as a player.
Zeke in the first half had a couple. You said he was taking a little while, but he took some pretty tough shots there that he hadn't taken earlier in the season. I mean, do you have any conversation about that? I mean, he seemed to get back to his usual ways in the second half.
Yeah, I don't think he took bad shots. He was around the rim and there was contact, and he missed, and you're just not used to him missing. But he settled in, and obviously 9 for 13. It's a pretty good night. One of the things with Zeke, all these guys can do certain things better. I think we expect him to rebound the ball a little bit more, both defense and offense. He's been much better on the offensive side, rebounding, than he has been on defense. And I think that's something we have to look at. He has to adjust to the college physicality and block out a little bit better.
Something big on him for down the road. What's his ceiling like, potentially?
I mean, the sky's the limit for Zeke. He does a lot of things well. He's just a wonderful kid. He works hard at the game, very unselfish, almost to a fault. Just a great teammate. But, I think that he's going to continue to grow. His range on his shot will continue to develop. And, he's a very, very good student. He listens, he learns, he's curious. You can really coach him. And he handles it very well, which, in today's world, that's a big deal, because I think that really tells you he's only going to get better.
Jim Rat?
He loves the game.
Are you starting to see not only what we've seen the last couple games with some double teams thrown at them, but just different ways the defenders are trying to get to your players that are getting him the ball, the way they're defending passes even going to him in the first place?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, his field goal percentage and his productivity, teams are going to look at trying to help themselves guard him. But it started to happen a little bit tonight. We also have a lot of firepower when the ball gets out of there to beat teams from behind the arc, leads to drives. That was part of my point last game. If you never throw it in there, you're never going to be able to get it out and ball moves and take advantage of some of the things that that team is going to do to defend the low post. Tonight, we got the ball inside a lot better. 26 assists speaks to that.
One more question on Zeke, he shows a lot of emotions at times, makes the basket, fist pumps like that. Is he an emotional guy in a good way?
Yes. I think Josh Green and Zeke, in many ways, set the tone for our team's spirit. Both guys, although they're very young, they play the game hard, play defense and offense. They're physical in the way that they play, and it can become contagious. That's for sure.